So now that we've gone through the basics of trading, we're now reaching the stage where we want to trade with a bit more certainty. And the easiest thing for you to do is to start looking at charts to give you an idea of how a market is behaving. So if we're looking at this particular market here, just by looking at where the odds are, the odds will move up, they'll move down, they'll meander all over the place. One of the useful features that we have on BetAngel are the micro charts. So these basically tell you where short-term price movement is going. So you can see here, Ultimatum du Roy has suddenly been backed in for some reason. We don't know particularly the reason why that's the case, but we can see that on the micro chart here. If you click on his name, then what it will actually do is show a chart. So you can see here, you can ignore some of this early stuff because there's no volume here. So what we're looking at here, these are the odds at which it's traded at. This is the amount of money that's been put through the volume. And the lines underneath here that you can see are the amount of volume that was going through at that particular moment in time. So you can see here there's a large spike here, and that was saying that about £500 was bet on Ultimatum du Roy at this point in the market. And you can hypothesize exactly what's going on by the price activity that follows after the volume. So you can see here there's a large amount of volume that's gone through this market, £500, and then the price on Ultimatum du Roy is gradually coming in. So that's the first thing I see in this market. There's a bit of activity for this horse, and people are obviously backing it and seem to like it. So what you can do on BetAngel is once you've brought up a chart, you can pin it to the top. So if we pin that chart, we can keep an eye on what's going on that horse. That was the first thing we noticed in the market, and therefore, we can keep an eye on it by popping it over there and keeping an eye on the price activity that's going on there. You can change the rate at which it refreshes as well. So, we can have it not refreshing at all, or we can have it refreshing at different intervals from within there, or we can click on here and it will refresh it. Now you can also see there's a percentage here. What's that? Well, this is the inverse of odds. I haven't explained that very well, but I will now do that. The inverse of odds is the percentage implied chance of this horse winning the race, or whatever you're clicking on, football team, NBA, NFL, tennis, whatever. And you can see here that the implied chance of this horse was at 8, which is about 12.5. If you're good at maths, you should really do that in your head. And you can see that basically people think the chance of this horse winning the race is getting higher and higher. It's up to you whether you want to use one chart or both. This gives you a slightly smoother interpretation of what's going on in the odds. The odds can move around a little bit, but this is basically telling you that people think this horse has a better and better chance of winning this race. So we can tell from here that this horse is being backed in, and therefore maybe we should take an interest in that. But if we look at some other graphs, we can see how that compares to activity in the market. So you can immediately see that there is a bias in this market. Some are being backed, some are being laid. And if we look at Allerton, you can see that that's pretty much going nowhere actually. But the great thing about these charts is you can actually set up BetAngel and put these charts wherever you like. You can actually shrink them as well if you want to make them bigger or smaller. And then when you've actually created a layout that you like, you can actually keep this layout. And the way that we're going to do that is we're going to go over here and we're going to do View and Save Screen Layout As. So if we call this Peter's one-click layout, then basically that saves that information for you. The chart on Allerton has disappeared because I didn't pin it. So you need to pin them. So let me save that layout again. There we go. So we now have a layout called Peter's one-click layout. And every market that I go to will start looking like that immediately I join the market. It will start displaying that information straight away. But you can see here, previously we've traded blind, we haven't used charts. But what you can see here is that there are biases in the market, so we'd probably want to be looking to back this one. We'd probably be wanting to look to lay that one. And you can use the same characteristics and features that we've seen before. We can see that there's a bit of a bias in the market. So if we were going to do an offset bet, we'd offset by 1, set it up exactly the same way that we'd done before, and then we'd say, okay, we're going to back Ultimatum du Roy. Hopefully that order will get filled. And look, it's moved already. So we'll try and back him at 7.8. We'll cancel that one. if we can get Ultimatum de Roy filled at 7.8, BetAngel will place the offset bet at 7.6, and if this trend continues downwards, then we will have a profit. And you can see somebody's beaten us to it already. Somebody's nipped in there in front of us. So we'll try again. But can you see how, the market is telling us this? By looking at the charts, we can get an idea of a horse that is favoured. We don't know why this horse has been favoured. All we know is that people want to back it. People really do want to back it. And if we think that this trend is strong enough that we can jump in front of it, we'll just do that. So I've just backed it at 7. BetAngel's offset it to 6.8. So if the price comes down to 6.8, in fact it's gone out a little bit, it's just spiked out, you can see, to 7.4. But we can still see that the trend is coming down here. We can see Final Assault is going out, we can see that Allerton is going out. So it's very likely that those orders actually will get filled. So the first one's been taken and our order has gone through and we've made a profit. We're waiting for the second one to get taken at 6.8, and when that gets taken at 6.8 we'll have a £2 profit. But can you see how we've just used charts to elevate our knowledge of the market a little bit better, to squeeze out some of those biases that are occurring in the market and take advantage of that. Now, somebody somewhere is backing Ultimatum de Roy because they think it's really good, it's being heavily tipped somewhere, or somebody's got some knowledge on this particular horse. But we don't care about that really. We're looking at what's happening within the market, anticipating what is about to happen, and then profiting on that by trading. So Ultimatum de Roy, we've got a £2 profit on. If we click the green column here, you can see we can hedge that for a guaranteed profit across the field. But the net effect is we're not going to lose on this race. We're not going to lose if anything else wins if we don't hedge it, or we can hedge it across the entire field to ensure that we win whatever the result. But there we've used charts to predict the direction of something and hopped on the back of that trend and profited by doing that.